1 is a safe mid-heat engager with 18 frame startup.
Holy
is +2 on block.
stupid.
Safe mid-heat engager with 18 frame startup is +2 on block.
Weak to sidestep.
Who
Who gives a shit? What's up guys, TheMainManSWE here, hoping you're all doing awesome as always, and I'm gonna get a look at Lidia Sobieska in Tekken 8. So this was apparently from the Tekken Talk live. I missed that, so I'm watching it now, and apparently it was a 2-hour snooze fest where even the most hardcore Tekken players just couldn't take it anymore. So I'm watching the very trimmed down IGN video instead, which is a nice 10 minutes. So let's see what Lidia is all about. Fit to screen. Thank you.
Poland, Lidia Sobieska makes her return to the King of Iron Fist tournament in Tekken 8 as the second DLC character.
Political storm. It's a heat engager.
Even by Tekken standards. But fortunately, Bandai Namco's esports manager Alex Julia.
Sorry, that low looks really
even
plus.
by Tekken standards. But fortunately, Bandai Namco character. She's a complex character, even by Tekken standards. But unfortunately,
is this what I need to take a dump stance? What is she doing to the person in front of her? Sorry, it's a cool stance. Yeah, it's a Gangnam style. Yeah.
Gave me an hour-long demonstration of her best moves, what's special about her kit, and
she looks like she's just dominating you from behind. You're just bending over in front of a prime minister.
Like her Tekken 7 iteration,
classic
Lidia is
outfit?
a character that utilizes a lot of stances. In Tekken 8, she has a total of 4 of them. They are cat stance, horse stance, striking horse stance,
of course, the horse stance. I'll ride you like a horse.
From lows to quick highs that beat jab mashes to punishing mids that can lead to hugely damaging combos. She's a character that can leave her opponents scared to press buttons. And when they're conditioned,
you hate stances. Well, that's Tekken 8 characters, though. It's stance rushdown.
Very strong punishes.
Even Jack is a stance rushdown character now, you know.
And very strong approach tools in both her forward forward 2 and forward forward 1. She's also a character that benefits great approach.
She looks really oppressive, though. Was that a blue spark forward forward 2?
Approach tools in both her forward
oh, we've given her execution there. So you have a if you perfectly execute forward forward 2 with blue sparks.
She's also a character
that's a 13 frame mid, by the way, right?
Which we'll go over right now as we talk about her best
wonder how
moves,
much it's gonna track.
They
did nerf Reina's
from Tekken 7,
Raiden.
4-4-2 is a mid punch that leaves Lidia at +5 on block and forces her into horse stance.
Wait, 13 animation, so fastest is gonna be 14.
Regardless if the attack hits or is blocked.
14.
On hit, the opponent is in a real bad spot. It's +15. And leaves her in a position where she can do pretty much any follow-up in horse.
She can do Hachivari or unanimous consent. Oh god. It was unanimous for consent, Your Honor. Kumogeri Muramasa and the low chop.
Stance, and it will beat mashing. So the opponent must guess on blocking a mid-heat engager that's only -10 on block, a low counter-hit launcher, or take a gamble and mash to try beat an axe kick that leaves Lidia at +8 on block and transitions into a whole new stance with another set of
28 frame startup.
If she lands this move in heat, she's at +17. And can get a guaranteed follow-up that ends with her going into Heaven and Earth stance, where she can threaten with several strong attacks, including a fast and blockable to Heaven and Earth stance, where she can threaten with several strong attacks, including
is it +8? No. Can't see the frames here.
Several strong attacks, including a fast and blockable, and gets a charge
that's
that powers up some
unblockable.
of her moves for the rest of the match. The little brother to forward forward 2, forward forward.
So it's not a guard break
high
anymore.
punch
It's
approach
straight up
option that leaves
unblockable.
Lidia at +6, but doesn't force her into a stance. The drawback, of course, is that it's a high and can be ducked, but since
wasn't
ducking
that while
Lidia
running one
so
before?
Scary, see everything I said before about forward forward 2, this is a very useful option to mix into your approach and keep your turn.
Wait, how plus was it?
Forward 2, this is a very useful option to mix into your approach and keep your turn.
So forward forward 1 or forward forward 2?
Forward 1+2, 3, 1+2 string called Political Storm is back.
It's still while running 1.
There's
okay,
a
they
clean
fucked
hit
up.
property to it if you do a quarter circle forward 1+2. with a new twist.
Political Storm,
There's a
Blue
clean hit
Sparks.
property to it if you do a quarter circle forward 1+2 for the last
Still
hit
launch
that adds on
punishable.
a bit of extra damage. Aside from that, it's Lydia's 14 frame Punisher, a heat engager, has fantastic range, and while the final hit of the combo is launch punishable,
This is, I mean, again, I don't watch a whole lot of IGN, but this is surprisingly nerdy and in-depth.
she can stop after the second hit and only be -10. Alex warned though that it is no longer hit confirmable between the third and fourth hit.
Oh,
like
no
it was
longer
in
hit
7.
confirmable, so you have to commit.
Back one
So it's
is
basically a
safe
Punisher
mid
now.
heat engager with
Be
18
it
frame
whiff or
startup,
block.
is +2 on block. Will is a safe mid
Plus
heat
2
engager with
heat
18
engager.
frame startups in Tekken 7. Back one is a safe mid heat engager with 18 frame startup.
Holy
is +2 on block. Will Walt's
stupid.
safe mid heat engager with 18 frame startup is +2 on block. Will wall stun if close to the wall and knock down if it hits while you're
What
already
the
in heat.
fuck? Weak to sidestep.
Will wall stun if close
Who
to the
gives
wall
a
and
shit?
knock down if it hits while you're
18
already
frame
in heat.
startup,
Not much
heat
up.
engager
Will wall
mid
stun
with
if close
range.
to the wall and knock down if it
That's
hits
plus
while you're
2 on
already in
block?
heat. That seems pretty good.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree, Bob.
That goes into cat stance and is +11 on hit, which means that if it hits, once again,
It
the
has
opponent
0
is in-
tracking to the right though. But do you understand what you are saying? Do you proofread what you write? It doesn't track to the right though. Do you think it makes it a bad move that you can step it to the right? It's a heat engager that's 18 frame startup and +2 on block and mid. That is pretty stupid.
bad spot where they'll have to guess, as pretty much all of her follow-ups will beat any sort of mashing. From cat stance, she's got a safe mid that leads to a combo on counter hit, a low, and a high follow-up. That said, if the initial move is blocked, the opponent can mash out of it. Next up is down back 4, which is a fairly average low poke. It's a bit slow at 22
it's still
frames of
neutral.
startup, but it does track sidestep left and is 0 on hit. What's nice about it is that you're standing afterwards, so you don't limit yourself to wall rising moves after landing it. Down 2 is another low that is faster at 18 frames, but it is -4 on hit. So if your opponent knows that, they can take their turn back if it hits.
Oh, that's
it
her
does
down
go under
2.
highs though, and if it counter hits,
-4.
you get a free from crouching down forward 2.
Only
heat
12
engager.
damage. Oh, that's a buff.
Crouching down forward 2 heat engager.
That's a buff. Only
crouching down
29
forward 2
damage
heat
though.
engager.
Jesus.
You get a free from crouching down forward 2 heat engager.
Nah, that's a bad low. It's fast and evasive though, but
From crouching down forward 3 is another low, though this one can knock down from close range and has a guaranteed follow-up with forward low, though this you get a free from crouching down forward 2 heat engager.
and this was -14, I think, in Tekken 7.
From crouching down forward 3 is another low, though this one can knock down from close range and has a guaranteed follow-up with forward 3. The downside is that this one is launch punishable if blocked, so just be careful with it. Quarter circle forward 4 is a 17 frame tracking high
Quarter
that leaves
circle
Lydia
forward.
at +1 on block. But if it hits, she's at +10, which means that she gets a guaranteed 1-2-2
Oh, that's cool.
jab string, which does respectable damage and leaves her at +8 in cat stance for a mix-up opportunity. Speaking of 1-2-2, it's worth noting that this build shows that it's -8 on block. That's not really true, since it forces Lydia into cat stance regardless of whether it's blocked or hits. And Lydia can't
Yeah,
block
it's
in that
very nice of
stance,
him to
which
point
means
out.
that it's actually
Yeah.
launch
Can't
punishable.
block in stance.
So don't just go throwing this out, or you might pay for it. Now let's talk about down back 3. This move is sick. It's a 16 frame, fully tracking low sweep, which means that it cannot be sidestepped either
Right.
left or right, and if it hits, it leaves you at
So rather
+7
than a
in
demo
forward
man
stance.
now,
So it's a
mix up.
position very much like if you had just landed forward 2. She does trade against jab mash with some options, but even in those trades, you still have the advantage. As you would imagine, it's launch punishable, so it's a big
Oh,
risk
I
to
wonder
let
if
it
she gets
out,
something
but it's
guaranteed on that
nonetheless
trade.
A very important tool in her arsenal. Pressing 1 while in horse stance will get you a high homing power crush that transitions into the striking wolf stance. It's +1 on block, so it allows her to continue her pressure, and on counter hit, it's +16. And finally, striking wolf stance 1 is a chargeable mid that is +2 on block and charge, and +7 when fully charged. It's easily sidesteppable and interruptible, but if
Nice.
it hits or is blocked, Lydia
Oi,
is left in a
that's
very
a lot
good
of
position.
damage.
Without a charge, she's still at +16 and gets a guaranteed follow-up, and if the full charge hits, she gets a damaging full combo. That's by no means an exhaustive look at Lidia's moveset, but these are the moves you'll definitely want to know both if you're starting out using her, or if you want to get a basic
you can
understanding
still
of what she
do
wants to do when you're fighting
this
against
full
her. Now let's take a look at her punishers.
hell sweep sequence.
Lidia's got a punisher for everything from 10 to 15
Or demo
frames.
man, it's more of a
and
demo
even beyond.
man.
Her 10 frame punish is her 1-2-2 string. It does good damage and leaves her in cat stance at +8. It's an extremely good 10 frame punish.
Red
She's
tape
also
is
got
on
1-4,
counter it
which
only.
doesn't
You mean
force
she
you to
gets the
stance
damage
if
free
you'd
2 on
rather not
counter it.
transition.
Okay.
For 11 frames, she's got 2-2 and 2-4. Once again, 2-2 transitions into cat stance, but if you'd rather not transition, you can use 2-4. Her 12 frame punish is 4-2-4, which
Her
can
face
wall
is
flat
so
and break.
boring.
For 13 frames,
What
she's
female
got
character in
3,
Tekken
which
has an
leaves her at
interesting
+6 on
face?
hit.
They're all just generic,
14 frames,
good-looking
she's got the
young
aforementioned Storm
woman.
string
That's
that
it.
does big damage and is a heat engager as well.
Super generic,
For 15
good-looking.
frames, she's got a couple of different combo starting options. 3-2 is her main starter that you'll likely see the most damage out of for 15 frames. There's a just frame property for
3-2.
perfectly timing the second hit that gets you extra damage. Up forward 4 is her hop kick, which is less
Yes,
ideal
that
as it will
is a
tornado
little
the
bit more
opponent
interesting,
afterwards,
yeah.
diminishing some of the damage. And down forward 4-2 is her far-reaching 15 frame punish, which can be followed up by a guaranteed forward 1 and 2. For her wall rising punishes, she's got wall rising
3-2 is
4-2 as her
15
11
now.
frame, which
That's a
goes to cat
15
stance.
frame.
From crouch
That's
down
super
4-2 is her
good.
12 frame. And
It was
as we covered
17,
before, is
I
a
think,
heat
right, in
engager.
Tekken 7.
13 frames, she's got wall rising 1-4, which can wall splat, and wall rising 1-2,
16,
which puts her
okay.
into cat stance at +11. For 14 frames, she's got wall rising 3, which gets a free follow-up with forward 1+2 once again. And for 15 frames, she's got the standard wall rising 2 launcher. Now let's put this all together in some combos. Here are a handful using
It
several
was
different
17 for
launchers that
certain.
Alex showed me.
Yeah, I also remember it being 17, not 16. It's very nice of him to include notations on all of this. Hiya! God, I wish they would start doing different animations rather than knock them high into the air, finish them off. Can't you do more like grounded dramatic shit where they knock them into the ground and then they jump on them while they're on the ground or something? Just mix it up a little bit.
And before we wrap up, we need to talk about one last stance of Lidia's, the Heaven and Earth stance. Heaven and Earth is a unique stance in that she can only enter it while in heat or after a heat engager, and she can enter it while in any other
My
stance by
God,
pressing
the
up.
power of heaven and
Touched upon
earth.
briefly earlier, when she
They will
enters this
combine
stance,
to
she gains a
annihilate
charge,
you.
which simply powers up the damage of some of her moves.
Is that the power of
and
Polish
persists through the
karate?
entirety of the match.
In the name
From
of
and
heaven,
Earth,
in
she
the
has
name of
three
the
main
earth.
options. Press 2 for a powerful 13 frame mid, that's +6 on block. 1 for an 18 frame
Have they
power
done
crushing
Polish
mid, that's only
karate
minus
at
11,
the UFC
and
yet?
1+2 for a 16 frame high unblockable attack. And finally, the last thing to know about this stance is that it's also a parry stance. If attacked during it, she will parry, restore some of her heat time, and re-enter the stance with enough time to follow up with one of the attacks she can use out of the stance. Lidia is a complex character, with one of the largest movesets I've seen in Tekken 8. She has ways to mix you up and continue her suffocating pressure. I hope this guide proves useful for both players who want to learn how to play
Gotta
her,
say, good
and
video.
for those looking for ways to deal with her
Very
by understanding
cleanly
her
made,
moveset
well
just a little bit
presented.
better. Thanks for watching, and
A pretty
for everything else,
nice
keep it here
overview of her
on IGN.
moveset. He knew what to cover, and when he talks, absolutely like someone who's like very into fighting games. She's gonna be beat here. I saw nothing here that screams
Proves
she's
useful
gonna
for
be
both
really
attack
strong.
during it, she will parry, restore some of her heat time.
I saw nothing here that looked really good. I mean, that back one looked pretty dumb, but I don't think that's gonna carry you into S
Re-enter the
tier.
stance with
But yeah, still like pretty similar to Reina. I feel like doesn't Reina just do all of this better? That's all I'm thinking. Doesn't Reina just do all of this better? It's like I told you guys how Reina felt like an enhanced Lidia, like Lidia version 2.0, after I played Reina for the first time at that press event. It just felt like this is just enhanced Lidia, like Mishima Lidia. But we'll see. Maybe she's super good. Again, this was a 10-minute video, and as he said, she has a very exhaustive move list, so gets me a bit excited though. And she drops on the 25th? So we'll get to try. No, wait, isn't early access even sooner? 22nd or something. I'll get to try her pretty soon. So I'm pretty excited for that. Hope you're all also excited. I do have to say though that when I think of DLC characters I want to see in this game, it's not exactly Lidia. Although I'm not disappointed she's returning, but Street Fighter 6 now, you know, 1 month apart. Akuma, Bison. You know, really big names. You know, something similar for Tekken would be Armor King, Heihachi Mishima, something like that, you know, and this, you know, I feel like we're getting duds in comparison, but you know what we got was really good balance patches, and they had to take JP, Luke, Ken extravaganza for a whole year. So, you know, we've had it good in other respects. But oh well, hope you enjoyed my little commentary here. Have a great day.